Yes. Okay.
Is this visible?
Yes. Yes. You can start.
Okay. Good evening, everyone present here. And I am research scholar. I am doing PhD under the supervision of Professor Dr. B.S. Kath, Department of Chemistry, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, National Institute of Technology, Jalandhar, Punjab. Topic of my presentation is smart hydrogels and their role in agriculture, a review. So first, contents of my presentation. First is introduction of hydrogels. Then it will cover what are smart hydrogels also, then hydrogels in agriculture, then their application, then difference between traditional and modern agriculture practices, then how we characterize hydrogels, and then references. Now, what are hydrogels? First of all, they are basically polymers, hydrophilic in nature. They are three-dimensional network which may absorb from 10 to 20 up to thousands of times of their dry weight in water or biological fluids. So we can say they are biphasic they have biphasic structure. They have solid network and aqueous solution. Solid network shows elastic properties and aqueous solution shows viscous properties. So they are viscoelastic in nature. So but their ability to absorb, it is due to hydrophilic functional groups attached to the polymer backbone, and their resistance to dissolution arises from cross linking between the network chain. So in the picture there is a dry hydrogel. After it absorbs uh, water or biological fluid, it shows swelling properties. So this cross-linking may take place in two environments: in vitro during the preparation of hydrogel, and in vivo or in situ after the application of hydrogel at specific location. Cross-linking is initiated by introducing a low molecular weight cross-linking agents. In chemical cross-linking, the polymer chains are covalently bonded via a cross-linking agent. In physical cross-linking, hydrogel causes hydrogen bonding hydrophobic interaction. So in the picture, chemical bonding and physical bonding, chemical nature, physical nature, all the both interactions are shown. So the swelling process carries with absorbing either water or any other biological fluid. The solvent molecules, they diffuse into this three-dimensional network because of the existence of hydrophilic group. This leads to extrusion of polymeric chains. However, if higher number of cross-linking junctions are there, then there is a lower degree of swelling. So this swelling extent can be calculated as difference in the weight of difference is initial weight and final weight. Initial weight when it is dry, final weight when it has absorbed or imbibed a biological fluid, divided by initial weight into 100. So now there are smart hydrogels. Smart hydrogels, they are said as smart because they respond to various types of stimuli, like suppose temperature stimulus, the low critical solution hydrogels and upper critical solution hydrogels are there. First of all, let's discuss them by example. Lower critical solution hydrogels, in which we have example of poly and isopropyl acrylamide hydrogels. They are acting as a drug delivery agents, drug delivery systems. So they are in the dialysis, this medicine is in the hydrogel network and they are in a dialysis bag. So with respect to temperature, they have release effect in the body, in the biological systems. So if temperature is higher, then there is a rapid drug release. Because temperature is high, then it will shrink and drug will be released. But if temperature is low in the biological system, then this matrix at this point, this will swell and clog the voids in the dialysis bag, and so drug release is very low. So with respect to temperature, they act according to the temperature. So upper critical solution hydrogels, these are polyacrylic acid and polyacrylamide hydrogels. So there is a hydrogen bonding or zipper effect. So if there is a high temperature, then no hydrogen bonding, and hydrogen bonding is breaks. And if there is a less temperature, then there is a hydrogen bonding present. So zipper effect, they zipped like this, and so accordingly they show swelling and shrinking and de-shrinking properties. So next are glucose responsive smart hydrogels, which responds to a chemical like glucose, for example. So these are boronic phenyl boronic acid hydrogels. They hydroxyl group binds to them, and they show shrinking and de-shrinking with respect to the binding of glucose. So there is a binding of glucose. Binding of glucose creates a ionic center. If ionic center is there on the system, then they attract more biological fluid. Hence, there is a swelling. So it means if glucose, like chemical like glucose, is present, then there is a increase in the swelling extent. Next, we have pH responsive hydrogel. So it is methyl acid chloride, and then there is we have amino acid, and there is a formation of
everybody.
There is a formation of pH responsive hydrogel, which respond to shrinking or de-shrinking properties with respect to pH of the medium. So next we have smart hydrogels, which are which give response to light. So next, this is a trans inclusion complex of azobenzene, branched polyacrylic acid. It is synthesized from two units. One is deoxyfolate beta cyclodextrin derivative and azobenzene. So there is a cis and trans configuration changes with respect to light, UV and visible light. Cis and trans formation is there, and hence if cis configuration and trans configuration is there, then there is a change is gel to sol phase. Next, we have polyacrylic hydrogels, which shows swelling and deswelling with respect to pressure. So polyacrylic acids, they show this kind of property. If there is a change in the pressure, then they show their different properties like swell or deswelling. So this was a little introduction about smart hydrogels. Now we have their role in agriculture. In the agriculture, they are called super absorbent hydrogels. Their use is gaining popularity because in present day, in modern day, so we need where conservation of natural resources is needed, but without affecting the environment. So these are acting as a game changers, because for water, for energy, for labor, cultivation cost, weeds control, we are using them in agriculture. So why they are called super absorbent? Because compounds, they absorb water and swell to many times of their original weight. So if they swell 1,000 times of their original weight, then it means they are lightly cross-linked. So these networks swell in water and hold a large amount of water while maintaining its structure. So they are used to increase soil permeability, evaporation rates of water through soil, and efficiency of pesticides and herbicides. Hence, lower doses of pesticides and herbicides or agrochemicals can be used if they are incorporated into hydrogels. So this is how we can use hydrogels, and we can grow a variety of plants. Now is their application. Hydrogels, they act as safer release system for agriculture. So agrochemical means pesticides, fertilizers, manures, chemicals we are giving to the soil. So hydrogels act as systems for carrying them, and then they are then they just put into the soil and crops, and they act as release systems. Now, what is the difference? Conventional techniques for applying, there is a conventional techniques. If we apply the chemicals like pesticides, herbicides, or manures by the conventional method, then there is a problem. They can be degraded by photolytic, by water, by microbial action, and by soil sorption. They lost by volatilization, evaporation, and leaching. So they cause problems to the health and environment. But alternatively, how we can reduce their use? It can be done by controlled release systems. So controlled release systems are hydrogels. So any bioactive agent, it is incorporated into a hydrogel. So hydrogel deliver this slowly and continuously for a longer duration of time at a desired rate. So how this is done? A simple picture. So this is hydrogel matrix, and biochemical. Is biochemical or chemical. It is incorporated into that matrix, and then with the time it releases very slowly. It releases that bioactive agent with time very slowly. So they act as controlled release systems. So plant has now access for a longer time, and plant has access to these chemicals for longer times. Hydrogel next application is in agriculture as a soil conditioner. So this involves a controlled release of nutrients from fertilizer loaded hydrogel into crops. So large portion of fertilizer when we apply, then it is lost by leaching, because in highly porous soil where there is excess of rain, it is lost by leaching. So hydrogels are used as a fertilizer release system to nurture the soil. So this is done as like polysaccharides backbone is taken, then chemically modified crosslinker is used, monomer is used to make superabsorbent hydrogel, and they are used as soil conditioners or nutrient carriers. So to load the hydrogels with nutrients, two approaches are used: post-loading and in situ loading. Post loading means after the processing, after the synthesis of hydrogel. In situ loading is during the processing of hydrogel. Post synthesis approach is performed by swelling the hydrogel together with active substance, which diffuses into the polymer network by absorption. The in situ approach is preferred over post loading because there is a greater loading efficiency in this. The loaded material, it is dried prior added to the crops. Now, how this release is activated? It is activated by swelling during the soil irrigations or even during the rains. The water within the hydrogel dissolves the nutrients, which can diffuse through polymeric network. The movement of solutes towards the outside of the hydrogel can be related to the swelling rate. The whole of the substance in the hydrogel is not released. It is released at intervals. As a result, the portion of the loaded solute is preserved. When the hydrogel dries in the interval of irrigation or rains, the release is activated in further watering processes or at rain. So it releases the nutrients consistently, and hence leaching is prevented. So in the picture, it is shown how for hours, for days, or for weeks, the small amount can do work. So next is for optimization of water resources in agriculture. So because there is a large water crisis, so water saving agriculture is essential, but there is a great need for the proper management practices in agriculture to maintain soil moisture and to increase water holding capacity of the soil. Now, hydrogel can absorb large amount of water and can release at the time of scarcity. They remain stable in soil for minimum period of 1 year. So they are acting as a boon for dry farming. So in a sandy soil having less water holding capacity, so hydrogel are the best materials in such soil in any climatic conditions. Next is seed coating by hydrogel. So this is the next application. Hydrogels are used as a seed coating with insecticides and fungicides to improve seed growth. It also helps against pathogens and pests in the stage of seedling growth, and also attracts the water near its vicinity so that there is a good germination of the seeds. So now these are the noble herbal hydrogel coating seed techniques in crops. They are used. They are helping to for sustainability of agriculture, for coping with climatic variability, water conservation, and they are farmer friendly. So difference between conventional and modern techniques. Conventional techniques, they use extensive with the conventional techniques there is extensive water wastage. There is no strategy for water reservation. But modern techniques, because by using hydrogels there is a maximum absorbency even at the temperature of 40 to 500 degrees C. So at in arid and semi-arid soils, hydrogels are they absorb water and release. So there is a lesser water wastage. So they release water gradually. This there is they are stable in soil for minimum period of 1 year. So by conventional techniques, agrochemical are leached into soil. This pollutes the soil, and but there with the hydrogels there is a lesser leaching of herbicides and fertilizers. So by conventional techniques, water flows and carries the agriculture along with it, and it causes the pollution. But there is no such kind of pollution or minimum pollution in case of hydrogels. In conventional techniques, there is a wastage of nutrients and agrochemicals, but wastage is minimized in case of modern techniques. So water stress is also coped with modern techniques. So conventional formulation, in conventional formulations, active ingredient is mixed with another materials and applied in the field. But in modern techniques, we incorporate our nutrients, agrochemicals into hydrogel matrix. So by conventional techniques, there is a immediate release, very fast release, and but in case of modern techniques, there is a control release as per the requirement. So by conventional methods, concentration of active agent in the field decreases very quickly, but concentration of active agent in the field decreases slowly, and requirement of the plants are met for a long time. Now in India, there are so many hydrogels in the matrix, like Pusa hydrogel, Waterlock 93N, Agrofreshly water absorbent polymer, super absorbent polymer hydrogels, and rain drops. So characterization techniques for hydrogels. One is scanning electron microscopy, transmission electron microscopy. By these techniques, surface morphology can be evaluated. And then next is a differential scanning colorimetry, main method to quantify the amount of free and bound water. So this monitors the gross phase changes of water in the polymer when a hydrogel sample is cooled below this very low temperature, 0 degrees C.
Please,
the free
please,
and
Mrs. Korsharam, you can respect the time, please.
Oh, okay, sir. So
Quickly,
next
please.
is infrared techniques within 2 minutes. And then we have X-ray powder diffraction technique. Then we have NMR techniques. Then we are for their viscoelastic nature, we have rheology, and these are the references. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Korsharam Kar, for your presentation. I will take one question and the last questions.
Yes.
Any questions? No. Il y a une question? Oui. Okay. Mr. Rohit Kandal, you have question?
No, sir.
Now? Okay. I would say thanks for colleague from National Institute Technology India for your participation at this seminar. I will close this session. We'll see after the lunch. Thank you, everyone.